everybody. So today we are talking about a kind of unique entry in the Disney canon in a weird way. Today we're talking about Winnie the Pooh, and this is the second movie in the canon about Winnie the Pooh. We have The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, and we have this version. The movie isn't nearly as good as The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, which is one of my all-time favorite Disney movies. It is basically perfect. I love it. But it's still, I think, actually pretty solid, and I think they did some really cool things that we'll talk about that you don't see very often in Hollywood films. And it was kind of the last 2D animated film we'll probably get from Disney, maybe ever. I don't know. For a long time, that's for sure. So it's kind of enjoyable, at least just on that level, I think. And the thing that I guess particularly like about this movie is that there are so many movies that when I take my young nieces, I have to take them out of the theater for certain scenes that are too scary for them, or they're too, sad, or whatever. They need to go out of the theater and take a break. This movie, it does have a song with a scary creature named the Baxen, but it's done very gently. And so this movie is made for very young children. I'm talking preschool age, toddlers, and I don't think that's a bad thing. One of the things I think that actually has really hurt animation in the last decade is the constant pursuit of the family film. Not every story is going to be for everyone. I don't think there's anything wrong with making a movie that is for a targeted demographic. Some of the worst things that have happened to movies is this attempt to try to please everybody. I felt that way about the Angry Birds movie. It would have been so much better if they had just made it for kids, but then they throw in all this sort of tawdriness, all of this adult stuff, and then it became kind of off-putting, and I didn't really like that. And there's so many examples like that I could give. And I think that this is so refreshing to me because even in its length, it's like 62 minutes long. It is made for little kids. And little kids don't have a long attention span. They can't handle a very long movie. So it's good for them. And it is in the tradition of these sort of vignettes that you get with Winnie the Pooh movie. And overall, I think they're pretty well executed, and they're pleasant stories. And this is based on one of the A.A. Milne novels. There's another Disney Toons film called Pooh's Grand Adventure that is also based on that novel. I don't have a problem with that. How many stories have classic books have had multiple versions and multiple retellings? So I don't understand why that's a big deal to some people, especially when it was just basically a direct-to-DVD film. And here we have the theatrical release. One of the things I really love that they did is the way they handled the music. And you have Zooey Deschanel singing the Winnie the Pooh theme song, and it is sweet and gentle and folksy, and I love it. And I love the whole design of it, and they were very careful to consult with Richard Sherman as they did this. They had his blessing, and so I think it turned out really nice.
First of all, Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh, tubby little caviar stuffed with fluffies. Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh, willy-nilly silly old bear.
So this movie, instead of having multiple stories like you get with The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, it kind of has two stories. The first story is about looking for Eeyore's tail. And then Christopher Robin has a contest to see who can create a new tail for Eeyore. And it turns out that actually Owl ends up having the tail, but he doesn't realize that he has it. And so that's sort of that part of the story. But the bigger part of the story is about Christopher Robin leaves a note saying that he's gone and he will be Baxen instead of Baxen, and because it's spelled wrong. And so they think that there is this creature named the Baxen, and they go on this sort of journey to try to find who the Baxen is. And they sing a song about the Baxen, and this is very similar to the Heffalumps and Woozle's song from The Many Adventures, but it is not as scary. It's not as surrealist and not as cool. I don't like it as much, but it's still, I think, cool. I like it. They have sort of a chalkboard technique that they use, and I think it works. I like it.
God. They made me lose my train of thought. They swipe your stripes. They clog your pipes. They dig up your garden. They won't beg your pardon. They eat your snacks. They won't relax. They chip your tooth.
They steal your youth.
And now you know the horrible truth.
The Baxen, the Baxen, the Baxen, the Baxen. Oh no!
Looking for the Baxen, and they set this trap where they're going to trap this creature, the Baxen. Well, they end up getting lost and getting kind of scared, and they end up getting stuck in the trap of the Baxen that they've made, and they don't know how they're going to get out. Well, it's very clever how they end up doing it, because they end up using the letters from the book as sort of a ladder to get themselves out. And this is a nice tip to the hat of the involvement of the narrator, the fourth wall breaking that you got in the original film, which I really like. Animation is all really sketchy and lovely, and in this, the only thing that looks a little weird, I think, is the way that the eyes look sometimes. Looks a little, I don't know, just odd. Especially Christopher Robin's eyes look a little strange. But other than that, I really like the animation. It's very sweet, and it's very simple. And also, I do like the story is a nice, sweet little story about Christopher Robin and Pooh and all the characters that we like. It's just very gentle. It's very sweet. It's made for very little kids. It's not too scary at all for them. I think they'll really like it. I think the humor is very pleasant in it. I think if I was going to, the other thing I was going to criticize about it is that I don't think all of the voice casting really works. Like Tom Kenny as Rabbit and Craig Ferguson as Owl. The problem that they have with those two characters is they made them kind of the same, which wasn't the case in the original film. Like, Owl was the smart one. He was the one who was always going on these long diatribes and everything. But he wasn't really judgy or frazzled or frustrated, and that was Rabbit's job to be that way. And they've kind of muddled those two characters in this film. And so that's sort of weird. And yeah, so other than that, it's a sweet little movie for very small children. And like I said, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it succeeds in doing what it sets out to do, which is all you can expect from a movie. That's all you can hope for. So I actually am going to give this one a high grade because I do think it's successful. I'm going to give this one a B+. And yeah, let me know what you think about Winnie the Pooh. Do you like it? Not like it? Where are you at on it? Put it in the comment section. And thanks so much. Please subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!